Hello guys, and welcome back to this new video. Today we are going to talk about a new research that has found out how in the Santa Catarina Island, that is an island off the coast of Brazil, ancient indigenous tribes were shark hunting. Yes. Now, there's much fish out in the sea. So the question is, why were they hunting sharks? Well, we have to go back to the origin of this research. For the longest time, it has been thought that actually they weren't eating sharks. It would be like almost impossible to figure out how they built those kind of tools that were necessary to shark hunting and to kill the sharks. But what was very typical of that part of Brazil was the creation of sambaquis. Now, sambaquis were basically little mounds that were full of remains, not only human remains, but also shark remains, such as teeth and bones. And what happened was that basically those sambaquis, those little mounds, were dotting this part of the coast of Brazil. That is until the 16th century. With the arrival of the Portuguese and the conquistadores, those indigenous tribes were pushed towards the inside. They were pushed towards the inland of Brazil. And what happened was that those tribes had to reorganize themselves and also change diet. Eventually, also, we know they were pushed further and further in, so nowadays we only have some indigenous tribes that have survival and that have not been integrated completely within the societies. We also know that in the 60s of the 20th centuries, the arrival of missionaries has changed that kind of scenario. Anyway, let's go back to the point. The point is, those indigenous tribes were actually shark hunting, and they were actually killing sharks. Now, this is a new discovery made by Gilson, who has reinterpreted those mounds as mounds that were established to be apt to the cooking of sharks and different kind of big size fish. So this is a new perspective that has been given by Gilson that has, however, a lot of evidence. It has been examined more than 3,900 specimens of sharks belonging to 15 species. And so the current theory is that not only sharks were kind of like worshipped by that society, that again, we're talking about a tribal society of 8,000 years ago. So the understanding nowadays is that not only they worshipped and they kind of depicted in their minds sharks as this mythical figure, but they were also out there hunting and killing sharks, which is kind of amazing. Also, how do you cook sharks? Because the only recipes that I know are kind of like not necessarily my cup of tea, because shark is usually cooked with a process of fermentation that is not necessarily what I would want. But anyway, how do you actually cook sharks? Sound off in the comments below, let me know. But anyway, the point of all of this is that this is a new interpretation that has been given, where sharks are not just, this mythical figure, which they were. For the indigenous tribes of 8,000 years ago in Brazil, they were important on a symbolic level. And that is manifested by the amount of jewelry that was created by using those pieces of sharks, like bones and teeth. But they were also their kind of like their primary source of food. Maybe not the primary, because we have to assume that to kill a shark, it wasn't that easy, not even for them. But we have to assume that somehow that was their primary dish. At this point, we only have to understand how they would cook it, and that's it. I'm not sure that they would ferment it, but who knows. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this piece of research. First of all, let us know how you eat sharks and if you have ever eaten sharks, and we'll talk some more next time in a new video. Bye!